the whole purpose of this house was to grow weed. It became kind of like more of a situation where I was more friends with D&J than Stoggs was, and he introduced me to him. He kind of became our distributor, and I think it was because we, like, D&J and R and I, we would go camping and hang out, and we did all these things, like couple events, and Stoggs didn't really have a girlfriend at that time, or the girlfriend he did have was like a kind of snobby dancer chick, if I remember right. Before me and Jay moved in, I'm trying to remember if I was living with Jay and still dating R. I think maybe I had like one more fling. Oh, R went to college. That was it. But before she went to college, she went on spring break. She went on spring break, and someone told her about Jay and me. So on spring break, she went to some kind of a Mexican resort town, and then she hooked up with some Mexican dude that gave her herpes. And then she tried to say that I gave her herpes, which I never had them, and that I got them from Jay because she was this dirty old chick, and she was just so pissed off at me that she had sex with some really nasty dude down there, and her health was so bad because of anorexia, and she also was just a drinker. She would just drink herself blacked out, passed out, because she didn't weigh. She weighed like 80 pounds or 90 pounds or something, and she would just be there drinking like anyone. So I mean, to get an 80-pound woman drunk, I mean, you just waft the hard alcohol under their nose a few times, and they're drunk. She was, whew, yeah. But so was I. I mean, that was what we did. Drinking like fish. Like rabbits. Drink like fish, like rabbits. The whole herpes thing was just like, I mean, literally, like, she had me go to the clinic in a mall to get checked out to see if I had it, and then, like, I was the one that gave it to her or something. And 100% no, was not me. It couldn't have been me. So that was pretty much like the beginning of the end. And then she went off to college, and I went up and visited her in college. And at that point, I was a full-blown slanger at that point. I mean, I had like, what did I have? I was on this new supplement. It was called GHB, and it would I was hooked up with these people that gave me all kinds of next level for the, I mean, this was like 92 or something, right? These people were back and forth to Amsterdam all the time, and yeah, I'll tell that story later. So I go up there to visit her at her college, which is Evergreen in Washington, Olympia. And I am literally just walking by people, because I'm like, hey, this is super crazy liberal college, man. I could probably just sell whatever to people just walking around. So I'm like, hey you, hey you, hey you, right? And basically just embarrassing her. And then she gets so trash that night. I mean, she gets herself like completely like passed out, like completely passed out. I like put her in a tub of water and, you know, just up. I'm up. She's up. Her roommate fucking comes, and yeah, it was just a whole weird deal. And that was pretty much the end of that. That was the last time. I did see her one other time, years later, in this little bar right not too far away from where her family home was, in this little Loma Village area. I saw her in there. She was in there, I think, with her brother. They were playing pool. I think I've seen her brother a couple times. But she obviously had kicked the eating disorder. She wasn't super skinny. She had like weight on her and stuff. She looked at me like she hated me. So, I mean, not like super, super hatey, just like, meh. Type of. Me and Jay moved into a little house right off of 50th and Lincoln. And the whole purpose of this house was to grow weed. That was the goal, right? Move in together, grow weed. And it started off like super good. And then she found out about R, and she started punching me in the shoulder. Like I think it was probably in the shoulder, because that was just kind of where it was, right? And, you know, I have a really, you know, it's just like autopilot. Somebody punches me, I like block it and return. It's like, it's when I say autopilot, I mean autopilot. Like, I have a genetic response to being hit. And it's stone sober. So, yeah, I punched her back in the arm or something like that, you know. But that just started a physical end of the relationship that just, you know. And it's just so lame that, because my dad beat up on my mom. My dad was beat up on. His mom was beat up on. And who knows, you go back far enough and that's just, you know. And so I had never had any kind of physical fight with a chick. Yeah, I did in grade school. I already told that story. Anyway, I wish she had never punched me, because I just wish I had, because I, you know, was like, oh, I'm never gonna beat up on a chick or nothing like that, but never really thought that I would be attacked by a chick either, you know. And for the record, when I was a bouncer, the worst I ever got up bouncing over, you know, not like I was a bouncer continuously, but I was a bouncer over the span of a decade, with, you know, a couple years of that kind of work. The worst I ever got beat up was by a chick. I mean, she beat me up. I had bite marks down my arm. I had swollen face and hair ripped out, and kicks all in my legs. I mean, this girl. And yeah, anyway, so I wish she had never done that, because I would like to have lived my life, because then I had another girlfriend that, the same story. And, you know, I mean, I have never once hit a chick the first time. And I've never, like, hit the chick either, like, bam! You know, it's more like, you know, like a punch in the arm has been a punch in the arm, grabbing. One time, this is stories, I'm thinking all the stories, like, trying to think of the, you know, the worst was when I literally just threw a girl off my back. I mean, she was on my back, and I threw her off my back onto the ground. broke her goddamn collarbone. I mean, I was seriously just like, not even, I mean, there was people watching her do this, and she just fucking jumped on my back and attacked me, and I just threw her off my back. That's simple. But that was most definitely like the worst. But ugly. When you're in fighting with people that you love, it's always this ugly. Fighting even if you're not physically fighting, right? And I guess I just tried to have this kind of carefree attitude maybe that wasn't that good by just being like, yeah, I had 2 girlfriends, you know, like, I'm a huge dude, I'm 6'4", and, you know, it's just like, I hold myself to a very high standard in my whole life about certain things, so I don't feel like if I'm holding myself to these standards that 99% of the humans in this world don't hold themselves to any standards. This is a huge problem, right? People don't set guidelines for themselves, goals for their life, you know? Like, oh, I'd like to make it through my entire life, blah, blah, blah. You know, insert whatever thing you want. People don't do that. I like to treat people in this kind of way. You know, like all these things, right? And some things have slipped and some things haven't. Some things I'm really like bantering about, and other things are just, you know, my own little things. So to have to deal with that kind of, you know, and it's like they're making me deal with them physically now when I never would have wanted to. And, you know, it's the whole autopilot thing. Like, I'm not trying to excuse behavior, nothing like that. And I'm sure, and on one occasion, I've been a criminal on this level with a fight with a girlfriend. And honestly, this is just one of those things where when I grew up, I had my own personal values that I was going to stick to, that I wasn't able to stick to or with, but I have always kept my goals, right? And if I could just not be attacked ever initially, then I probably have it covered, you know? And dealing with being attacked by a girl that I love, this is just something that, how do you practice this? Now you can tell yourself a million times anything, but who knows what the situation. And, you know, I'm always trying to be a better person that I am constantly. Learning new things, challenging myself, trying to be nicer and nicer of a person just to random people, although they could be totally horrible idiot Nazis at this point. But anyway, I hold myself to these standards, and I always have, and working with or hooking up with these girls over the years that, you know, are damaged people, as like I'm a damaged person. So damage is a thing that is like a magnet. So unfortunately, you know, and it's a sad state of affairs. And it's extra sad for me because I was like, you know, and that's a big part of the reason why I don't have kids, because I don't deal with stress for it. If I was rich as I could have the financial stress removed, at that point I would consider kids, but I'm already 47, not even 47, I'm only 46. Why am I increasing my age? Probably by the time anybody's watching this, I'll be 50. But anyway, if I could remove that financial stress of life with a big score on some kind of big money, you know, then yeah, then I consider it. That was, you know, because being broke and desperate for money and having a child and family to support. Like, putting my I've never been to that point where I could do that.